Hello, everybody. I'm back. I know I told you that I was going to have different hair today, but I had some stuff that came up, so I was not able to get that done, but that's fine. Okay. All right. So today I want to talk about something that's really important in learning. And so learning isn't just about going to class, like we've talked about that before. It's not just about, even informal stuff, okay, practice and all that. There's another very, very important aspect of learning, okay, and that's inspiration. If you are inspired by another person, by, someone's story, by your pets, by, something you read in a book, inspiration can really be the fuel for you to continue your learning. Now, let me tell you, for me, first of all, I'm inspired by me. Okay, that sounds really arrogant, probably, but it's true. Okay, it's true. And I've been thinking about this for the last couple of days, right? Because I've been through a lot of stuff. Okay, every human on this planet can probably tell you about all of the things that they've been through. All right. Each one of us has a story. Okay. Now, when your own story, right, can inspire you to do something, I think that's pretty special. Normally, we look for our story to inspire somebody else, right, or encourage somebody else to do something. But when your story can be your inspiration, I think that's great. Okay. So there's a lot of stuff that I am handling right now. All right. I'm a single mom, not very good in the men department. Okay. And I was thinking the other day, there's a lot of things that for me that could just make life easier. Okay. Like a lot of things. Okay. And one of those is like really having a partner who could really hold me down at this moment. Like I'm going through a really major transition right now, and I'm doing it by myself, right? I don't have a partner here with me who can really just say, you know what, Cheryl, I'm here for you, with you 100%, sharing their resources, just really, working with me to get this done. And I don't have that, for whatever reason, I just don't have that, but me having to do this on my own. Now I do have a support system, but I don't want to make that, there are people out there who support me, in doing the stuff I'm doing, right? But for the most part, I'm really doing it by myself. Okay. And given my history, and the things that I've had to get through just to make it here, that's really, when I look back at that, it's inspiring for me to just go ahead and do it. Okay. I can complain, I can have the sob story, I can do all that stuff, right? But I can also use that as a point of departure, a springboard to do something more and different. Okay, more and different. And I mean, that's basically what learning is, right? It's me being able to use the building blocks I have right now to build something bigger and different, even if it's not bigger, just different. All right. Now, yesterday I read about a very inspirational person. His name is, let me see, I wrote it down. And I'm gonna put the link in here too, so you guys can go see this. His name is BertonyFaustin. So BertonyFaustin. He is a winemaker in Oregon. But the unique thing about him is that he's Black. Okay. And that's unique because I don't know if you all are familiar with the wine industry, okay? But it's not very diverse, okay? Not at all. And in Oregon, and I just learned this from watching the interview yesterday, Portland has like the most white, like the whitest population in the US, or the top 5 or something like that, okay? So him in that area really stood out, you know, as a winemaker. So I listened to his interview on this podcast called, what is it called? Dreams in Drive. It's a really good podcast. All right. So subscribe to the podcast when you see it in you know, in this video. And he told his story, right? And one thing that he said, so he's from the Caribbean. That's where his parents came from Haiti. They came from Haiti. And he grew up in Brooklyn, New York. And he was I believe he was an anesthesiologist. And he made his way over to Oregon, where he met his wife. And he wanted to go to California, but he ended up staying in Oregon because that's where he found a job right away. So, and then he met his wife, so he decided to stay there, okay? And he really talked about his childhood, how he grew up. He was not very good in school. His father inspired him to do various things. And one thing he said that really resonated with me, and I write about it in my book, Firing God, is that he said he never felt like he was good enough. At no point in his life, even in this interview, he never felt like he was good enough. Like he always had to do something more, right? And so please go listen to that podcast. It's very, very good. And this man said, it has to be the most profound thing I've heard to date. He said, the primary sacrifice that anybody can make is not death. That's not it. It's not money. It's not time. He said the primary sacrifice you can make is to be vulnerable, to really tell the truth about yourself to yourself and to other people. To really just just be naked in front of people, okay? Just lay it all out there. Just tell the truth, okay? That is the ultimate sacrifice. I have to tell you, that was, and that him saying that really resonated with me as well. So what he said was he was really able to learn how to do that. And him doing that is the primary reason for his success in the wine industry, because he was willing to, first of all, be vulnerable and use his story as the fuel to help him to continue to learn and to do what he was doing. He said that he got a coach, where many people, he said, in the wine industry get a mentor. You want somebody who's done this before. They can tell you how to do this thing and how they did it and how not to do it and how to do this, whatever. He said that's what most people get. But he didn't want a mentor to tell him how to do it. He said the thing that he wanted was not for his business to get better and grow, but for him to get better and grow. All right. Which makes and that's what a coach does. Okay. A coach does not tell you what to do. All right. A coach, first of all, knows that you already have the answers to the questions that you're asking. Okay. And what they help you do is to tell the truth to yourself so that you can then go ahead and do what you already know to do anyway, you know. So his coach, he said, really, really, you know, helped him to grow himself and to be more vulnerable and to trust himself more. And all of that translated into his business just blowing up and being as wonderful, you know, as it is today. So he also has a documentary called Red, White, and Black. I haven't seen it yet, but it's on Venmo. I think it's only like $7 to rent. So I'm probably not going to do it tonight because it's a little late, but I'll probably try to order that tomorrow. because I really want to see it. I really want to see that documentary. It looks absolutely amazing. So again, his name is I hope I'm saying it right. Bertony. It's either Bertony or BertonyFaustin. Oh, and something else I learned in the documentary. I didn't know that. Hi, Jordan. I didn't know that some rappers had wines. Like I know that some, hip hop artists, they have various liquors, liquor that they represent, that they sell, and their name is on and all that. But I had no idea that high end wine, that they were, high end wine. And one I found out was Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj has her own wine. Did you know that? I had no idea. And apparently there are others. And he caters to like the hip hop community as well. I mean, all kinds of people go to his vineyard. I forget the name of his vineyard, but all kinds of people go there. But he's really like, he grew up, listening to hip hop and all that. So he does a lot with that community too, which I think is absolutely amazing. But he dispelled a lot of myths about the wine industry. Okay, so he talked about how, it doesn't take years and years and years before you start making a profit. He said you don't even need to buy land to make your own wine. Okay, you could just, he sells his grapes. Like he's what does he have? He has like a protege, right? This woman who wants her own label. And she doesn't have land, but he sells her some of his grapes, so just so that she can make her wine. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. If you look at the podcast, now I'm not that into wine. However, when I told y'all that I went to different places to find out what I was going to do with my new model. And in one of those places I went, it was art. Okay, so art, and I looked up things about how you become a sommelier. Those people who taste the wine and tell you which wine is best with chicken and beef and all that stuff. There's a documentary on Netflix called SOM, SOMM, and oh my God, it's so good. It follows these students who are taking a test to become a master sommelier. Okay, these people, I mean, they're studying like crazy. They are literally, going around licking rocks, and putting dry plants in their mouth so that they can see what they taste like, because, wine has notes. It have like a note of lemon or a note of chocolate or whatever. There's really no lemon or chocolate in it. It's just that some kind of way, as it ferments, it has those kinds of flavors come out. One guy even was like, it tastes like new tennis balls. Like when you open one of those cans of tennis balls. So he'd been smelling and licking new tennis ball, right? I mean, this stuff is cutthroat, and there's only like a handful of sommeliers in the world. Okay, so the wine industry is like major. It's just like the art industry, right? Art is like a whole nother world. Okay. And he has just come in here and just busted it all up. I mean, so he dispels a lot of myths about what it is and what it can be. And his story was so inspirational because, I mean, he's literally doing his own thing. He is not following the handbook on being a winemaker. Okay. He had no handbook. And that was the thing. He said another reason why he feels he's so successful is that he's really not very passionate about wine, which may seem counterproductive, right? Like you have to follow your passion, right? That's what people say all the time. Follow your passion, find your passion. He's like, I'm not that passionate about wine. The thing, and the lady asked him, when did you start to become so successful? He said, when I stopped selling wine. He said, you buy wine anywhere. Go down to 7-Eleven, to the gas station somewhere. Wine's all over the place, So he was like, I'm not selling wine. He said he's selling himself, right? He is selling the experience of Bertoni through that wine that he's making. And I believe he said their motto was like life, magic, and love, or something like that, right? Like that's what this brand is all about. It's about life, magic, and love. Okay. It's not about why. I absolutely love that. I do. And that's why I say, when you, so now he's not competing. He's not competing with nobody, right? Because what he's doing is that he's living, he's being vulnerable, and he's just living his life. That's not competing. No, nobody out here is competing to live Cheryl's life. Okay. I'm the only one I have no competition when it comes to living my life, you know, authentically. There's no competition for that. Right. So he has no competition. Now, when he starts to try to sell wine, now you competing against countless people. Okay. And that's why I found this interview so inspirational, especially with where I am right now in my personal life, in my work life, and all that, right? That's why I found this so inspirational, because, you know, I've had this discussion on this channel before, you know, about people competing, okay? And, you know, when you are doing you, there just is no like, there really isn't, all right? And if you really think about it and look at it yourself, you'll see that's just, you know, what it is, you know? So as long as I can shine through, yes, I do this learning, I do the evaluation, I do curriculum design, you know, there are hundreds of thousands of people who do the same thing I do, but they don't do it like Cheryl does, okay? And it's not just doing it like Cheryl does, they're not Cheryl. All right, they're just not. They're not me. And as long as I'm willing to make that sacrifice, and like he said, sacrifice is you being vulnerable. That's the largest sacrifice you can make. And I totally agree with that. Okay. If I'm willing to make that sacrifice, okay, that's the thing that's going to help not just my business grow, you know, but it's going to help me grow. And what do I say learning leads to? Learning leads to growth and maturity. That's what it leads to. Okay, that's exactly what it leads to. I saw this amazing quote by what's that dude's name? He's some kind of Zen Master or something. Ram somebody. But he said, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. When the student is really ready, the teacher will disappear. I just read that last week. Now, you know, I define teaching and learning the same. The sharing of perspective and experience, right? It's the same thing, right? It's the same thing. When you're really ready, you don't need a teacher. For what? For what? You don't need a teacher when you are really ready to learn. And I can't tell you how happy I was to read that quote. That quote is going to go in all of my presentations, okay? Because we have teachers, instructors, facilitators, you know, coaches, mentors, all that stuff out here thinking that people need them, okay? Or, you know, or they're not going to be able to live a good life, or unless you take this class or learn this thing or whatever. That shit ain't true. Okay, it really isn't, right? And that takes a lot of responsibility and accountability away from you, the learner. Okay, that's not theirs, that's yours. When you're really ready, and some of you, you know, who may listen to this and hear this, you know what I'm talking about. When you are really, really ready, when the student is really ready, you don't need a teacher. You don't. And really great coaches, they know this. They know they're not needed. Okay, they know. That's why I find that to be true. Right, Jordan? Right. And that's why when I do my mentoring, I limit folks to 8 sessions. After 8 sessions, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. Okay? Because first of all, you didn't even need them 8 sessions. But some of us, I mean, I understand that, you know, we want to feel supported in some kind of way. We need that listening ear. Okay. We feel like we need that advice and, all this, because for numerous reasons, we feel like any help or goodness or, good things have to come from outside of ourselves. Okay. We've just been conditioned to think like that, and that's just that it is what it is. All right. But, at some point we have to see that that's not true. If you're really going to make any kind of sustained change, if you're really going to find what you're looking for, we're all looking for something. We are. We're looking for something. Many of us don't know what it is, though. Can't quite, we just know something's missing. Okay, we're not quite certain what that is, though. Yes, I know exactly what you're speaking about. Thank you, Jordan. Yes, exactly, right? We know something's missing, but what we're not aware of is that we have it. Okay. Was it last week? It may have been last week or the week before. But I was tearing this house apart because I had to be somewhere and I could not find my keys. Okay. Keys just gone. I'm like, I got a keychain, a key ring up there by the door. Almost all the time I put my stuff up there. The keys weren't there. I'm running up in my bedroom. I'm going to the basement. I'm calling. I'm like, listen, I'm on my way. I can't find my keys. Just couldn't. I went out to the car. Maybe I left them in the car. I just couldn't find them. Going crazy, right? Because I can't get to where I'm going unless I can find these keys. Okay. I went back upstairs. Put my hand in my jacket. Keys right there on me the entire time. Okay. When I realized that, the first thing I felt, of course, was relief. And the second thing, I'm like, you idiot. Okay. They're on you the entire time and you running around here, stressing out, sweating, running up and down the stairs, all this stuff. Okay. I'm like, but that's the way it is. I'm telling you, we feel like something's missing. All of us do. We try to go find it in school, in getting another certification, in getting a better job, in finding a better woman, finding a better man, having another child, whatever. We try to find whatever it is that's missing, not realizing that it's actually not missing. Okay. And I really feel like when that guy says, when the student is really ready, the teacher disappears. Like, that's basically what that means. Because you see, you don't need, you already have it, is basically what I'm saying. You already have it. So y'all go see, I should have put it in before I went live, but when I'm done, I'm going to put the link in here to Bertony's website, so you can see the red, white, and black documentary. And I'm also going to put the link to Dreams and Drive, which is a podcast run by this lady. I forget her name, but it's a podcast for people who have decided to leave their 9-to-5, and go off on their own and live their dream. That's why she calls it Dreams and Drive. She has amazing interviews. It's not just this guy, right? She has really amazing interviews. The last one I saw was a guy who quit his job. I forgot what he was doing. I think something in the airline industry. And right now, like today now, he's just traveling the world, right? Because that's what he wanted to do. Now, he's not a billionaire. He said he's doing this on his VA check. Okay, he gets disability from VA every month. And that's how he's funding his, living in different countries. He said that, the American dollar goes a long way depending on where you are. Okay, so he's in those, various places where the American dollar goes a long way. You know, I mean, I'm sure he saved up a little bit before then, but you know, so that, yeah, so that's what he's doing. I mean, there's a lot of women on there who you know, who quit. I filled out an application because I'm like, girl, I need an interview, you know, because I done quit the government and I don't know, first of all, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do next. I still don't know, but you know, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, I'm going to finish this live. I'm going to go over to my cyber training with Ypifany channel. So if you're not subscribed to that, go over there, because I'm going to talk about something really interesting related to cybersecurity. I don't know if you all have heard of, you probably have, because they've been in the news. Deep fakes is what they're called, right? Deep fakes. And that's like when, I remember this one deep fake that was on Facebook of President Obama saying some words, but it really wasn't him. It looked like him, right? The face and the mouth was moving, and it seemed like he was actually saying that, but that wasn't him. Those are deep fakes. Okay, those are some things that people, you know, are using right now to put out fake information, making you think it's coming from a legitimate person. But I'm going to talk about on my cyber training channel how we are naturally equipped to recognize that stuff. Okay. All right. So if you're interested in that, please come on over there, and I will see y'all back here later. Okay. Y'all have a good night. Bye-bye.